Right, greetings gamers and welcome to the 236th live stream from the MisfitGamersStudios. I am your host Vortex and this is D&D Discussions. On today's episode we have a brand new subclass for the Warlock Patron Otherworldly variety. Yes, you heard that right, coming here. The first time you've ever heard that subclass. It's called the Haze and it's from Pokeniner. So let's get into it and find out what Pokeniner has in store. And of course, let's get Kage involved. Because that's very important. If not, we're only half a show. We can't do that. We can't have half a show. Boom. There we go. Now we're both. And Cart, that is totally my bad. I was going to grab Hecate's username so I could give Hecate their third, and somehow it ended up clicking on your
oh yeah.
The button right below their name for temporary timeout. I was like, fuck, but I was able to unban that or undo that. So ironically, timeout is still considered a ban, so I had to unban it. So my bad on that. There was, you know, surprisingly enough, there's no, because it's such a quick action, which I like, because it's very nice, but at the same time, it's very annoying. It's right next to like their names, and it's just there's no approval. There's no secondary approval. Like, hey, are you sure you want to do that? No, it's just, oh, I got you, and it's like, that sucks.
It happens. Bye now.
But I now know how to undo it, and I will undo it from now on. So that, you know, that won't happen. Well, can't say it won't happen again, but I'll be able to fix it a lot faster next time.
It'll be corrected instantly. Fabulous.
Let me work on your crop. Let's see. Let's go 6. And top.
Whoop. I'm jumping all over the place.
Oh, that's why. It's because the only reason why I have all at the top is because if I cut it down, then your camera shrinks to be much smaller than your window.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why we have it that way. Oh well, it's fine. People can see you. It's cool. So
I'm here.
My only big update is that I don't know what day. It just depends on, how my schedule goes. I have to go into the office 2 days this week, and then I start going back 4 days a week next week. So that's a transition I'm trying to make. But OSR will be started this week. I was trying to tell you this right off stream, and then you had happened to walk away, and then we went live. But as of now, I've cleaned off my plate of all of the projects for the time being. OSR is next. Starts this week.
Good.
And I might have an update on Friday.
Like an actionable update you're talking about? Like
it might not just be a hey, it started. Like I actually might have like details on Friday.
Ooh,
so
see, this is very cool.
That's how close we are, everybody.
So much.
Actually, other things too. Okay, so what I need to do, I need to get with you on your upcoming availability over the next couple weeks for a couple things. Okay. So we'll just talk off stream about that. And then
absolutely.
At the same time, okay, so once OSR gets started, I think that will be my kickoff to also put in the questionnaire in the Discord for what y'all want for the Discord bot. Because I do want to start that project in a couple weeks too. So that's right. Let's figure out what
a lot of things automatically I think could be very cool.
Yeah. So I want to know what people want.
To start a channel for, or are you just gonna?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna start a thread, and then I just really want to get people's ideas on what's gonna happen because I need to go through the Discord because we have a lot of great threads, but the problem is at the end of the day, they're like some of them would be great if we had, 200 people in the Discord, if we had 50 to 100 viewers. But other things are just kind of, they're not necessarily great for only 6 people, and they're not going to do us any good for like another year or two. So I might. You just real. Oh, great. Cart didn't even realize. The whole time I'm freaking out, like, oh, I have to undo it. Cart's like, wait, what? You timed me out, whatever. Oh, well, I'm glad you didn't notice, Cart, because yeah, that kind of sucked.
That's funny. That's funny.
But yeah, so I will probably start a thread. I'll go through the other ones, see which other ones that we still need or need to scrub. But yeah, I want to know what people want in a Discord bot if we were to make one specifically for our Discord. Not like what you want that a Discord bot out there doesn't already do, right? I don't want to recreate a Discord bot, and I don't want an idea of what Discord bot you want in the server, because we're not making one for other servers. I want to know what would make sense if a Discord bot was made for us. What does that look like? What information does that look like? Because one thing that would be really interesting that might be cheap to make is I wouldn't be able to make it a full connection to the Oracle, because that would cost, I mean, think about, the LLM processing power to, ask questions like that. But you know what I could do is, because I'm building the database the way I am with the live wiki, I could have the bot be able to ping the live wiki and just do a search on it. So you could do basic things like show me this character, or, what is the high point rule of this spell, or what is the high point rule? Like, so I could make certain things queryable via the bot to where it's a cards. Yeah, so it just pings the info based on how it's connected versus actually doing like a call or a question to it. Kind of like, how Avery does it, right? How Avery has cards like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I also really need to see if I need to see if I can find more information on Avery on like GitHub or something, and see if I can make a
absolutely
something that's compatible to it that can also do high point rules. Like, man, if I could make a Avery version for 2nd edition with high point rules,
dude.
I mean, Avery was so good. It was so clean. It was such a great way to game in Discord.
What's that other server? Your actual high point servers. Imagine if you like attach that to your high point servers.
That's my point. Like, that's what I want to do. Like, because then I could actually bring more. That's what I would actually be able to do, is actually game with people. Because that's the only that's the hardest part about gaming in high point for the most part when it's not in person, is all of the different rulings. But if I, with the Oracle and a way to make a bot be able to query it.
Oh, possible, dude. Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, man. So
yeah.
But yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff off my plate in terms of other projects. I did all of that today. So at this point, OSR is next. And then I have another project after that I'm going to work on. And then the Oracle will finally be fixed 100%. And then after that, I have some fun, unique projects. Some of the projects in the works in the future after all of that will be me working on integrating the leaderboard into the website. So that will now be kind of off Google Drive.
That'll be cool.
And
speaking of stuff that we want the bot to do, I swear I read somewhere in the Discord having a bot being able to automatically post schedule updates.
Oh yeah, so it's gonna be part of that, to where once it's integrated, once it's integrated into the website and we update the score, it can automatically post the webhook what the score was, just like you do. So it would automatically snag that. Sure. And because it would cross-reference what's currently on the schedule, and if they're the same, it would update the schedule. Be like, oh, that just got reviewed. Yes. Cool. Timestamp what's the next thing on, and just rotate it. I can make all of that automatic because it's just a quick, double check. It's just a quick check. So I can do all of that. But even more so, I'm going to figure out if we can automate the formatting. I'm going to see if I can actually strip what we do like off of Goblin Notebook, the way that we're using it with that formatting. I'm going to strip that, and then I'm going to see if we have enough information. We have over
Markdown that I use, because Goblin Notebook uses Markdown. I have all the Markdown.
Yeah, but my point being is that we also have enough history now of original copies in a variety of sources to the final copy. So it's not just the Markdown of the final copy, but we also have history and we have connectable understanding of how we take things and format them.
And what changes ended up getting made and why they end up getting made, and you can like see those contexts and hopefully,
yeah, and be able to just put it in, figure out if a description's at the very end, knows to put it at the very beginning. Like there are factors like that that we can automate in terms of replacing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's some things in the works for that might be a lot easier, because if it can do that, then we would never have to worry about backlog. And then the leaderboard can be onto the website, which would be really nice. We won't have to have it exposed on Google Doc.
And there's one more piece that I'm really excited about, and I'm hoping to create a little bit more of a streamline when it comes to this process. But for the actual submissions, if I could set it up so that when somebody could say fill out a form, and then when that form's done being filled out, that submission will automatically get added to the leaderboard where it needs to be.
So one thing that I was thinking about doing, once the leaderboard's integrated, part of the Discord bot would have a submissionable form. Like you can just type to the Discord bot and it would send you either a link or just a thing that you can do. And I can also integrate that into the website as well, so you could submit to the website in any format. And I should, based on my experience with the Oracle, I should be able to include URL links to things like Homebrewery. So you won't have to download it yourself and upload a file. You should be able to give us your Homebrewery link, and I should be able to scrub it and get the information. So again, all in testing, all aspects of what we need, but that's it. The goal is simply that, is potentially being able to make that process a lot easier on you. And even if it's just a compiling to where it's just a plug and play, where you can just be like, oh, hey, that needs to be in here instead of over there. Oh, that's not quite the description.
Sure.
But something a lot easier than you having to, copy paste. And it would make both of us a little bit more blind in the process. So our review process is that much more refined.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Right.
So I'm hopeful. So I am hopeful for things like that. So there's one thing that I should write down. That is one feature, as an example to anybody out there who's wondering what we're looking for. Here's one feature example of the Discord bot. Reading the leaderboard. Being able to query the bot and be like, hey, what's the average? What's my average? What's this person's average? What's what's the highest ranking weapon? Things like that. Because realistically, instead of it being, because really what I'm looking at here is I'm trying to remove as much AI usage as much as possible. But that could be as simple as creating a matrix tab, where every time something's added, the matrix tab pulls it, and it makes all of those combinations. So anytime you basically ask the bot something, it basically goes, okay, so you want the highest of the weapon, it kind of basically has something that's, because you already have something like that. You kind of have a matrix of the the ongoing averages.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm like,
so as it builds it,
I'm like, you could just pull straight from here and it would give you all the information you need. And it's just like, hey, what's in that cell? What's in that cell? And it's just boom, done.
Yeah. So that's one thing to think about, is the Discord bot would be able to answer questions or at least ping off of the leaderboard. Because again, it would just be because they the bot would just have commands, right? So it would be LB top 5, LB number 1, LB number 1 weapon, LB 10 out of 10. We could just basically make structured code that reads off of a database for every variable that we think is important. And again, the community would tell us, oh, hey, I want to be able to query, my first and most recent, things. I want to be able to ask the Discord, I want to be able to ask the Discord bot, what of my submissions haven't been reviewed, right? So hey, I want to know what's coming up. I want to be able to ask the Discord bot if I've already submitted something. So imagine you can go to the Discord bot and go /
Yes.
LB check, right? So it's slash LB check, and or slash sub check, right? So submission check, so slash sub check, and then you give it a title. And then what it does is it actually looks at all of the lists not that's been reviewed, or it looks at the entire list of everything that we've had either reviewed and not reviewed. And then it will tell you if it's on the list, because there are some people who don't know what they've sent in before. So being able to have a command that says, have I already submitted this before?
And the other thing that I've had people ask me before is like, hey, what's the most updated version you have of this thing? Because sometimes they would want to change something or adjust something before I've gotten to it.
The database can put a timestamp.
Like, see, yes, to see
I can just
like,
make a time.
the most updated version of whatever it is.
We just slap a timestamp as some of the metadata, and that just pulls it. So you could just say, so you could say, again, another of the commands could be, slash or exclamation point, v check or version check or sub v check, and then you say the name of it, right? So it's like sub v check the Haze, and then it's like, oh, this is version submitted March 2nd, and you're like, oh wait, no, I have something before that, let me submit a new one. And then again, the bot, then you could have a thing where it's like, hey bot, exclamation point update, and then like it takes you to an updated form, or like an update form, because then there's a submission form. But if you want to update a current one, and then this is where like it spirals into having like a membership version of the website. So let's say you want to submit something, but if you want to update a submission, like if you want to give us an updated version, then you have to have a membership, right? And then whenever you submit something, you would tie it to your membership. So whenever you log in, you could see your submissions and then go in there and say, I have an update, and then it would update it before we get it. So we wouldn't have to worry about it. People could update it as long as it has time to process the update. We would be able to keep up with updates a lot easier instead of day of.
I would actually be able to put a check on there that basically says, hey, this has already been converted. No more updates can be done.
And we can program it in to where there's a cutoff date. So we could say, hey, the system won't accept updates once you're on the schedule, right? And if we're doing a schedule 2 weeks in advance, it's like, hey, sorry to say, but if you know your thing's coming up, it's already too late to give us an update. Because let's face it, if you're waiting to figure out if we're going to review it to give us an update, you're waiting too long. You know what I mean? And you know me, that's always been my stance. You have a little bit more lenient stance. But my thing is if it comes up and you're like, oh, I didn't update you, it's like, that's on you. If you had an update, you should have gotten it in when the update was done, not when you were ready to get it reviewed. You know what I'm saying? So if we have it hard coded in the system that it won't allow updates, then people can then log in and see, this is where the bot makes sense, right? So part of the Discord bot being able to check the leaderboard based on user ID would be great, because that's the incentive to be in the Discord, right? You could check basically kind of freely the entire leaderboard. But imagine you could log into our website. Like you can go to the leaderboard on the website, the whole leaderboard, and do it yourself, or you can ask the bot to do it. But also imagine on the website, you could then log in, and then it would give you a list of the things you've submitted, like specifically would auto filter, but it would actually show you things not reviewed. Because right now the leaderboard only shows things reviewed to the public, and it would only show that. But if you log in, you would see everything that's been reviewed by you and everything that you've submitted so far. When you submitted it, you'd be able to review the submission, and if it's been, you'd be able to see, oh dude, you'd be able to log in, you'd be able to see, oh, I submitted the Haze. Oh, it's not, you'd be able to see whether it's been, like you'd see that you submitted it, right? You'd be able to see whether or not we've already converted it. So you'd be able to get a preview of like what we're about to review, right? You'd be able to personally review it. And then if something gets missed, because you know how many times they've been like, oh, this got misplaced. They could submit review. There'd be a button that says, hey, I want to say that you guys got this wrong. But you'd be able to see if it's already been converted. You'd be able to see whether it's already on the schedule, so you would know what's coming up. And if you wanted to update it, it would let you know if anything's available for update. You'd be able to submit the update right then and there. If it hasn't been converted, then it will just replace it, right? So if it hasn't been converted yet, it will automatically replace it. And then what I can do is, if it already has been converted, but not on the schedule, this is just basic logic we can write. If converted but not on the schedule, whatever conversion scheduler we have, that thing gets priority. So anything that is already primed, like ready to go on the schedule, and then it gets an update, gets priority in terms of reprocessing. So new submissions go, so because we don't need to reprocess a new one if we already have a list of things that are ready, right? So this thing would just go next in line to get its update to then go back and wait for its turn in the schedule. So there's easy ways that we can program that to get to that stage for us.
This is gonna do a lot of really good work for what we're trying to do, and it'll help so much. A lot of the consistency and keeping things pointing in the same direction. So this is very cool. I'm very much looking forward to what this is going to look like.
Yeah, I'm super happy with this. And then just to shout out to everybody, because I know there's a few people out there who are interested. It's still looking like end of July, if not closer into August, that we'll finally get to the next showdown. Just it's going to be a lot of prep. I don't know when I'm going to have time because I'm in a transition period right now with my IRL work. So give me some time. I'm going to need at least a month to coordinate it all. I'm not even 100% sure we have all 3 submissions, but I think we might.
Yeah, I was about to say, didn't we just get a third person to add to this showdown?
Yeah, so I need to verify that, but I think our plan still holds. I think I know we have a general skeleton idea, but I'm really going to have some time to think about how we're going to do the voting, how we're going to do the testing. But I'm trying to be real with everybody, trying to give everybody a realistic idea of what's going on. Don't expect it before, like, be happy if you get it in July. Don't expect it before August. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just trying to be real with y'all. I'm about to go into a 7-month course, and I don't know how much of my capacity it's going to take. So that's why we're trying to get a lot of these projects done now.
this process that we're going through for this upcoming one will help us to solidify a process that we want to have moving forward, right? Because we're adjusting a little bit from the last time that we did it, and so like figuring out like the best way to present it, especially because last time we only had 2 people and this time we have 3 people, so we're able to like flex and like see what it looks like with different numbers of people. Like say we eventually want 4 people, who knows,
right?
But like at the end of the day, like knowing like how we want that process to look, what feels the best, even Homebrew Review's gone through evolution from when we first started. So I absolutely think something like a showdown's gonna have the same sort of process that we got to go through. So.
And of course, I want to make it look good. I want to make it look better than it did last time. Even though last time was pretty good, I want to make it look a little bit better. So, yeah, but it is on the plan. We're not going to forget about it. We're not going to drop the ball. It is going to take time, and I want to put the time that it deserves. And it's not going to work if I try to rush myself. So, y'all have that.
Absolutely.
Well, otherwise, let's see. So, going back to the conversation as well about community streams. We didn't get one set up for this month because last month we had our subathon, which was our 3rd year.
Yes.
And this month is, again, my transition month into what will be my new position for a while. So this is just going to be kind of our chill, try and get back into our rotation and see how it's going to work with the new schedule. So that's what this month is going to be about. So next month just so happens to be my birthday month. And I'm going to be trying to do a couple of different things. But I figure, why not take advantage and try to nail down like a birthday stream? Like, why not?
Okay.
Kind of similar to a subathon, but it could just be, me chilling for like 10 hours or whatever on like the weekend before or whatever. Because one of the days that it's gonna happen is Vixie actually has a work trip that week. So we're gonna be doing my birthday stuff on a different week anyway.
Sure. Okay.
But I want to try and plan something either the weekend before or after, both for the stream. I want to do like a birthday stream, of some sort. But it would also be kind of cool because I also want to get the guys together for a Pokenine. So I'm
Absolutely.
trying to
You gotta do that.
do that. So community streams will probably be pushed off yet again another month, because this month it's a transition, and then next month I'll do a specialty like birthday stream. So
And
keep you all
will
up to
say,
date on how that's working.
I swear we had a conversation at some point about, you know, making community streams a little bit more valuable, and part of that was by making them more rare. So like not doing them every month anyways.
Exactly. And that's why I'm just trying to let people know like why we keep pushing it off, is because I think doing one good like big stream every other month has been kind of nice, right? Like at the subathon, we'll have a birthday stream. Maybe a month or two later, we'll have another community stream.
That's kind of the vibes we're going for. Okay, I get that. I wasn't sure if it was going to be like semi-annually or quarterly or whatever, but I like the every other. I think that's not bad. I think that's super doable, and there will be a lot of different reasons. They won't always be community streams. Sometimes there'll be other types of streams. You know?
The other idea I had, I did have another option that we could explore, is I could just make the community stream amount. Like I could still make it one of those they have to, you know, use their things, but because we want people to use their channel points for interactions. But I could still do what we used to do, which is set the goal, but instead of making it a goal we know they'll get in a month, I could set it to like 100,000 instead of like 20,000. I could set it to 200,000. So I could just say, and when it's like that, I could say we could say a dedicated minimum 6 hour community decided stream or community led stream. So instead of it just being the monthly community stream, it is you earn this. It'll take you a couple months, especially, you know, a couple of you, but once you earn it, then it's much more of a, okay, we finally got this. You really get to control like every second of what happens, right? And then, you know, maybe at that point, maybe we can do things like giveaways on those streams, because then you're earning it for a reason, right? It's like everyone eventually earns it, and then real stuff happens. It's not just an extra stream where I play games, but it's a stream where it's like, okay, you've got me for the day. It's kind of like the subathon, right? But it's like, you've got me for the day. There's going to be a giveaway. There's going to be a raffle. Like there's going to be like, maybe that's what we can also do, is really make it worth that price, not just to a price to where it's going to take a lot. But if you finally earned it, we've probably done enough to say that we can put it back into it.
What was it that we were talking about the other day? We were talking about something, and it was a really cool idea, and then we randomly said we should totally do that on stream. I don't know if it was...
Oh, lightsabers.
Yes! That's what it was.
Home Depot lightsabers.
I think that would be a fire thing to do on one of these streams.
Bro, yes, you know what?
Absolutely.
Hold up. No, that's it. That's fucking it. We're doing it, right? Hold on. I'm doing it right now. Is
this the birthday stream? Is that what we're doing?
No, that's not the birthday stream. It's something bigger than that. No. This is
bigger than that. Oh shit.
Well, just different than that. The birthday stream, I don't know what I want to do just yet, because I want to make that fun for the audience, but also fun for me. So it's like, can't be the same as a subathon, but usually birthday streams just have some sort of like main ideology, and I don't just want to do my normal like, I'm just gonna sit here and play games like I always do.
Sure.
Who knows, if I get maybe if I fix the Oracle by then, maybe my birthday stream will just like start out with like me doing like the Oracle until people like jump in and change what I'm doing. But like maybe give me something like that where I just start filling out the Oracle and people just watch and talk. Okay.
Be a good time.
But no, I got this. Where is it? It's never where I think it is.
But it's always where it's supposed to be.
No, okay, hold on. It is community. No, it's not community. Content. Not under content. There, that one. There it is. Okay. Boom, boom. Okay, here we go. Create a community challenge. There. Okay, so how am I going to do this? So let your viewers know what will happen. Complete this challenge. Kage will build.
Where you at? Where you at?
Along with a community built and so complete this challenge and we will build our own custom lightsaber hilts along with
because we did talk about like build. Yeah.
So custom saber and a.
Was that last stream that we talked about that? I don't remember.
Okay, so I'm gonna delete that. So build their own. Okay, this is it. All right, so y'all are crazy. What is the so the max is 2,000. Oh, wait a minute. No. Viewers have this much time to reach this goal. Duration. 30 days.
Oh, it has a time limit?
Never mind. It requires a time limit. And there's... Damn it.
Rude.
Okay, I will rethink about this, and maybe this will be the birthday stream, because that would be kind of a dope birthday stream. Honestly, that would be kind of a dope fucking birthday stream. So I will rethink this. If I was able to make this an ongoing community challenge, I would have done it. I would have figured out how much would be like a worthy amount, but it can only be a maximum of 30 days.
Oh, interesting.
So it kind of defeats the purpose of making it like, 100,000 or 150, because I'm trying to think of like this community can, knock it out, 30,000 in a week. We've seen that. So,
y'all do some work out here.
So, the thing is, I got to figure that out, but I do want to do this. So here's the idea for a future stream. I have to figure out how to make this, how to make this work, how to make it worth it, right? Like how do they earn it? But I want to do a lightsaber stream where you and I will do an IRL. We'll go IRL and buy all of our own ingredients. like all of our own parts to make our own sabers.
Sure.
And we'll make those live on stream. But most likely beforehand or at the start of the stream, somehow the community will be able to decide what kind of saber they would want to see built. Right? Somehow we'll figure out how they want to do it. I have some ideas on how that will actually work. There's actually a few tools that we can do. But we do that, and you and I will build one, and then those will just be ours. But we will build one to the community specs, like one that the community wants. And we'll give away that one. Well, that'll be like a contest to give away a raffle live on stream. But then we'll build a second one, or a fourth one, I should say. And that one will be a mystery saber. So what will happen is once we're done grabbing all of our saber parts for ourselves, and we grab all the saber parts for the community, the build.
Okay.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna go through and like I'll take the camera and then you'll have to be like at the end of the aisle, and I'm gonna go through and grab. We're gonna like flip a coin, and one of us is gonna get the top, one of us is gonna get the bottom, right? Because once we've built all three, we're gonna get an idea of like what parts are needed. So then we flip a coin, and then one of us is gonna stay behind while the other one goes through and grabs parts for their half.
Okay.
And then the other person has to go through and grabs parts for their half without knowing what the other person did.
Yeah.
And then when we get on stream, then we will put that mystery saber hilt together, and that one will also be given away. So we'll have two to auction or to give away on stream, and then we'll have two for ourselves. So we'll each have our own, but once we learn how to do it, then we'll live make one. We'll make two different ones that people can have after watching us. One will be one created by the community, and one will be a mystery one that we just happen to throw together because of what we both grabbed.
That's gonna be badass shit, dude.
I think that's cool.
So
I think that's a cool idea. I just need to figure out how to make them earn that kind of a stream. You guys have ideas, let me know. Oh, Cart just came out with a great Discord bot idea, because there's plenty of bots that do that, and that would be easy for us to decide how to integrate that. We can basically have the Discord bot have a currency system for interactions. I can actually see if I can even get a Twitch API integration so it can link your accounts and share it. We'll see. Good idea.
Oh,
that's the kind of stuff we need. Thank you, Card. Those are the kind of ideas we need. Okay, so community challenge, we won't be doing that, but I love this idea. I want to do this lightsaber thing. So if y'all have any ideas on how we can hype this up, I think that would be phenomenal. Because that is gonna like cost us some money. So not that I want y'all to like pay for it. Like that's not the point. You know, it's not a subathon. But you know, I do want to make it like earned in a sense.
You know, like the average on like what those things cost?
Oh, they're all like $40 or less. They're all under $40. We're talking about like, I mean, dude, you're talking about like parts that most people spend like a few pennies to dollars on because they're in the middle of like a piping project. We're going to be spending so little. These things aren't that's why it's not about making them earn it financially. It's just, it's still going to be a process. So I just want to make sure that, you know, yeah, but I like it.
It's going to be cool. This is going to be so cool. This is going to be so cool.
All right. But that's all the updates I have. OSR is coming starting this week. Lightsaber stream soon. And yeah, that's all I can think of. Is Pokeniner here? Pokeniner, did you show up yet? It's been an hour. If Pokeniner ain't showed up, then sucks to them. Sucks to suck.
That's
sucks to them. It sucks to suck is what I meant to say.
That's all right. I will say, of all folks, Pokeniner is really good at going back, checking the VOD, and looking over stuff when they're not here. So
that's fair. That's fair. What's up from the VOD? How you doing?
Hey.
All right, cool. Well, let's get this review started then, because it's been an hour. I think everyone's waiting, and I have no more updates for you. So, lightsaber stream eventually, and birthday stream next month. Discord bot eventually. Let me know more ideas. And OSR comes soon. All right, boom. Let's do this. Well, today we have the Haze. This is a otherworldly patron subclass of the Warlock variety from Pokeniner. And as always, we are going to start with the description. Your patron is an ancient spirit. By forging this pact with a restless ghost or lingering apparitions, you become their steadfast anchor to the material realm, channeling their spectral powers into your very being. As you deepen your connection to your patron, your mortal form takes on a more eerie transformation, adorned with ethereal hues and haunted visage, embodying the duality of existence and the echoes of a world unseen. Interesting. I feel like we've reviewed something that had a similar lore, that the longer you had this, the more your body shifted and changed. I don't think it was like shifting into a ghost, but I swear we've reviewed something that had a similar vibe, and I'm here for it.
I remember there was almost like a chimera-esque, like you had like different like body parts that you could like use from different places and stuff like that. I'd have to look back over our submission.
I mean, we've reviewed so many things, but no, I like that. I like this idea that what is going on? Hold up.
Hold up. We'll leave that for now.
There we go.
Better?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I like it. I like the idea of it changing you physically. I want to see that represented in the abilities, not just in the lore, though. We like more than just, we like more than just, oh, it's happening in the background. I want to actually see that matter. So I'm really curious to see if eventually we'll get things like spirit form, or like Misty Step because of it, or even eventually becoming like a corporeal to a point, like even as an option. I want to see that more than just in the description. So we'll see. I do like this though. This is a kind of a cool vibe. Well, it's all coming from the ring, which is very interesting. But I guess that is the patron.
It makes sense as a patron, like it's coming from.
It's like it's a haunted ring, so like you took that and then I like that idea too, like if it's like, especially see, this is great because this can expand the lore to other things. Like, so let's say you want to expand beyond the lore, you still want to use this same setups, right? You still want to use the same standard D&D class sets, but you want to expand the lore, because we've talked about this before, right? Like the non-standard barbarian who, like how do you play non-standard characters? The idea of a warlock, and I guess you could also play the same thing on a paladin, but this idea, having this ring, right? I imagine someone losing, their significant other. And the ring, they found the ring after the moment, right? Like it became a cursed object, but for them, it's not cursed because it's their loved one. And in fact, because of that, it empowers them. So not in the sense of a warlock as in this eldritch entity giving you power, but if we can say a paladin, I mean, imagine this, you can give a paladin divine level power off of an oath. Why can't your lore accept a warlock is fueled by the death of his loved one that is literally in his ear? Like this picture represents it. I wear my wedding ring, but that's not their wedding ring. That's their loved one's wedding ring, right? It looks like theirs, but it's actually their loved ones, and in it is the spirit, right? We think about like the cursed objects holding the spirit. That's what this could represent, but it's that bond that makes the power of their warlockhood. Even though, and again, think about it, warlock is also represented as just unlocking knowledge. If this spirit still is among the world, why can't the spirit now just have access to the universal knowledge? And that's how now you have warlock powers. It's not granting you the power, it's giving you the knowledge, right? So there's a lot of ways that I think that this very concept could be adopted to make more sense, even if you wanted a warlock or a paladin, but explained the other way.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like if you can explain that you want something so bad as an oath that you can get powers over it, I feel like you can explain that, you know, your dead wife gave you, you know, some spells from the other side. Like, all I'm saying, I mean, you can even explain it that by putting on the ring, you see your dead spouse and they finally admit to you in their death, you know, in their love story to you, that they're stuck here on the mortal plane attached to this item because they were a wizard or a warlock, or they were a magic user, and the reason they died is they attempted to make themselves an immortal by binding themselves to the ring, and it ended up killing them, but here they are. So in order to keep you alive out of love, as long as you wear the ring, you have my power because you have my knowledge, therefore you're a warlock because of another magic user, not because of some deity or because of some eldritch being. Just because some magic user that loved you was like, look, I'm dead already, but I'm not going to let you die. So flood your memory with all of my magic knowledge there. Now you're a warlock. You don't have the experience that I do, but I can give you enough to access it like a warlock would, right? Like you're a half caster. There's ways. I love this.
Actually kind of dope.
There's ways to make it work. And this is where, again, this is what High Point's all about. It's not about homebrewing, specifically homebrewing out or in specific things that could be found elsewhere. That is, I think, to me, that isn't a perfect example of how quote unquote homebrewing works in High Point. It's taking a really good idea specifically based on the lore and how to make it work the most effective way, right? You know, I love Oath Paladins. I just think that Paladins were perfect where they were, and Oath power should have been its own thing. I think, you know, I just think an Oath Taker that's all you had to do. Just let Paladins stay Paladins, and the current Paladin should have just become what should have been known as the Oath Taker. That they should have remained separate. Disagree.
I will say, I think the biggest obstacle to that is I feel like every other class feels like it fills a specific role. I feel like Paladin and Oath Taker would fill a very, very similar role, and there'd be a lot of overlap there. Whereas a lot of the other classes feel a little bit more unique.
I think I think you only think that way, or I feel like that would only be the case because they took over Paladin. I think the power source is what I'm talking about. I think Oath Taker power source is valid. I just think it shouldn't work the way a Paladin should. I think Paladin, again, should have remained untouched. And this idea of...
You think they should both be able to smite?
No. Not in the same way. I think they should work fundamentally differently.
Even if they function differently, and that's what I mean is it's
so here's my case. Here's my case. A paladin should be able, to smite based off of like the enforcement of their deity, right? An Oath Taker, I think they should have a version of smite, but not based specifically like on damage or in combat, right? They should have something similar that's directly targeted to their oath. So again, like let's say they're the oath of like, you know, I don't have something right off the top of my head, but their smite should be directed towards being able to affirm their oath, whereas I think the paladin smite is fine being directed at damage. That's kind of the idea. You are the enforcer of a deity. That is your point, to do damage. But in Oath Taker, I think they can have a version of smite, but not directed at damage. I think they should have almost like a self-directed guidance, but even more powerful. So as powerful as smite, but more usable like guidance, right? Somewhere in the between.
So my thought process, like, what would it do? Would it, if a smite isn't doing damage, then what is it doing?
So that's where it would be like, that's why it would be like guidance, but it would be self-directed. So imagine like, instead of just adding a bunch of damage, imagine like the oath taker, based on what your oath is, you'd be able to add a die to the chance of you pulling something off that is within your oath. So instead of damage,
giving yourself like bless or something, but
yes,
like way more aggressive than bless.
Yes.
Okay.
And so again, I think smite belongs with paladin, but I get that oath taker should have a focused ability, something that's like, hey, it's aligned with your oath. Yes, that's going to pack an extra punch because this is where it matters. You're taking your oath. You're doing something. Like if you're just a fighter, right? And you take an oath off of doing something, whatever, you're going to have normal fights. But if you can say, hey, in this moment, this fight matters towards my oath, I get this bonus. That's kind of like a paladin smite. Is you're saying right now it matters more than ever. Right now, it's canonical to my character that I get this overwhelming boost.
I don't disagree with that. I definitely think that there is something like I don't disagree with you. I really do think both of them have a huge place in what we do. And you know, I'm always creating new random things for my players just because there isn't a thing for it. Like one of my players wanted to be a summoner, so I created a summoner for him. One of my players wanted to have their class revolve around playing cards, so I created one for that. So, you know, like there's definitely space for new things. I would just want to, when it comes to like an oath and how you want to manifest that and how you want to play that in the world, I want to explore what that looks like. I like the idea that you're talking about when it comes to like doing things in alignment with your oath, like gives you things.
Like,
but, like
I don't have like a specific. Sorry, what was that?
I was just gonna say, I think that like doing something to the effect of like, hey, the longer I do consistent things in alignment with my oath, like the more overall powerful I become. And I think that doing stuff like, again, this is the concept that we're talking about here is kind of like what you say a lot, feels very against the, I would say, overall majority of how 5th edition works, because there's a lot to this that has to do with role play and how you play your characters and making sure that you're bringing in who your character is to the actual table. And so like being dedicated to your oath, there's plenty of clerics that like barely even mention.
You're so wrong, Pokeniner.
Warlocks barely even there's so many warlocks that just don't ever talk about their patron when they play the game, because mechanically you don't have to. Mechanically, everything you get, unless you're casting like augury, or unless you're casting, you know, something where you're specifically asking your deity for something, like you don't have to. But something like what we're talking about, I think would work so well if somebody was willing to lean into that, because then the DM could put in situations to where, hey, this would benefit you and your entire party if you were to just slightly go against your oath, but it would reset a lot of your progress, a lot of your character's progress. And so it would.
And see, that's what you're talking about is a lot more like original AD&D, like 1st edition level consequences is what you're talking about. Like you're talking about bringing back like old school consequences. Yeah. And again, that's where it's like, I like the idea of the Oath Paladin because I've always had something similar. I don't have like specifically an Oath class, but I do allow for the opportunity of powers bestowed upon characters based upon certain factors that essentially equate to taking an oath, right? Because again, the universe responds in kind. But to me, warlocks are also a very similar thing, right? You're just taking an oath to something. And that's where it's like, I love the idea of being able to essentially have the universe respond to you, right? Like the actual weave itself hears your oath, feels your conviction, and is like, you know what? I'll be your patron. Like essentially, to me, what oath paladins like what's crazy, like what's or not oath paladins, but oath takers, in my opinion, should essentially be the warlocks of the weave itself. It kind of like that's the essence in which I imagine it, right? It is not a sentient deity, but it is the universe itself feeling your resolve and being like, I'll back that up. Like, that's a sure thing. That's a guaranteed win, kind of like basically placing the bet on you. And that's why I like it. I really, really like it. I feel like we lost something taking away the divine level of paladin. I think, splitting up, because I really like the division of cleric and paladin, what their roles were and what their benefits were. I really think the oath taker should have just been its own class. I think there could have been a lot more opportunity there. And yeah, I feel like, because again, for me, the oath taker is almost like a blend, could have been a blend between a paladin, cleric, and a druid almost, in a sense of what the potential it could be, right? Because all of them have this a very defined but also very personal connection to everything, and that's really what an oath taker would have been, right? Is one of the more personal connections to everything, and it just would have been a personal connection to the thing you desire to accomplish. So again, it's a great idea. I just feel like they didn't have to just take paladin, in order to make it. That's my only thing. But again, I've said this before on many other occasions too. I get why they did it.
I forget what the word is. Something like that.
Yeah, and I know why they did it. I know why they wanted to get away from more deity focus. We've talked about how deities are kind of second nature and second thought in 5th edition. They're there, but they're not the primary focus anymore. Yeah, they're there if you want them to be. And I feel like that was also just a time and place where they wanted to get away from, the more religious context and really look at it from a point of view of, oath takers. They just kind of do their own thing, right? They're just powered by themselves, but that's fine, but you still have deities. So why'd you take away like their mortal warriors? It's very strange that but they're still out there.
Need them in the lore, guys.
Right? Oh yeah. But yeah, anyway, so going back to our original comment about this picture, though, I love what this picture represents. I love that it could give you much more profound ideas on what makes a warlock, right? Again, a warlock powered by, their dead loved one sounds like an amazing opportunity instead of it having to be some, ancient eldritch deity. So play with that idea how you will. But let's get into this and actually figure out what we can do. You mentioned this before stream, but we do have some invocations coming up, so we will check out the invocations at the end after we take a look at everything else. We do get an expanded spell list, so as normal, a couple of the options we get here: Dissonant Whispers, Fog Cloud. You mentioned Augury, but we do have an Augury note here. The text: an otherworldly entity is replaced with your patron in the spell's description. I guess that makes sense, because if you don't choose the otherworldly patron, this wants to be covered all, completely. Right. We have Blur, Speak with Dead, Spirit Guardians, Death Ward, Greater Invisibility, Anti-Life Shell, and Hallow. Hallow's the only one I'm not familiar with off the top of my head. All of the other ones, I mean, in the lore we did get, you are basically like forging that pact with a ghost or a lingering spirit. So yeah, all of these really follow, I think, that line of thinking. I think this all works. Again, Hollow is the only one I'm not familiar with off the top of my head.
I feel like Hollow is something, because like the casting time for Hollow is 24 hours. Like, I know it's like having something to do with like creating hallowed ground, or like consecrating something, or like making sure certain types of creatures aren't allowed. I could totally see that in like maybe like a cemetery or something like that. Like maybe you want to like maybe wherever your wife was buried or something like that. Like whatever connection you have, like you make this ground. But again, like I would be very interested to see how people use that. Like I'm just curious how normal people, like it's just a regular cleric spell, so like I'm curious, like what is a cleric doing with the Hallow spell? Like normally I would think it would be to, hey, I'm calling my deity to protect this particular area from things that might want to harm me, right?
Yeah.
From,
Well,
like,
I mean, considering like
demonic things.
considering some of the effects, right? So some of the effects, darkness fills the area, daylight fills the area. Affected creatures in the area have resistance to 1 damage type. Dead bodies in the area can't be turned undead. Affected creatures are frightened while in the area. There's no sound in the area. So there's quite a lot here that does make sense. The thing is it's so a point you touch and infuse the area around it, holy or unholy, and it's 60 feet. So it's definitely beneficial if you have something like if you are up against a vampire and it's daytime and you're gonna face him when the sun goes down, but then you do this and it's suddenly daylight when it wants to wake up. There's definitely a lot of opportunities here if you use it ahead of schedule, but you really got to get ahead, right? If let's say you're going to go up against a lich and it hasn't woken up yet, you can cover a certain area so it can't raise its own army. So now you have an upper hand there. So things of that sort would be the opportunity for a spell like this. Is you really have to know what you're doing and what you're getting involved with in order to plan this. This is an ambush kind of spell, right? You've laid a trap with this spell for sure.
Yes.
And I like that though. That I think all of these spells, now that I know that one, I think all of these work so far with the lore and with the understanding of what this subclass is going to be.
Absolutely. Cool.
Did we get, I'm assuming this is 2024 because it starts at first level. That's 2024, right?
This is 2014 starts at first level. So that's why I'm assuming this is
2014. Okay, 2014 starts at first level.
Made everything start at third level.
That's right. Okay, I don't know why I got that mixed up, but yeah. Okay. Okay, so we have at first level Grasp of the Ghast. I like that name. Your patron has gifted you with a way to repel enemies using Souls of the Departed. When an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to reduce the damage taken by an amount up to your charisma modifier. The damage you reduce this way is then dealt back to the attacker as necrotic damage. You can use this effect a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a short or long rest. I like that.
That's kinda cool.
It's really nice.
It's lightweight, like an activatable armor of Agathis, because it's basically thorns. Like when someone hits you, they get hit back, right?
Yeah, and it's not even at first I thought I expected it to use your reaction, but it didn't.
It does. Yeah, you use your reaction to reduce the damage.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, you do. Okay. For some reason, I okay, so yeah, so when you do use your reaction. Okay, I like that. I
will say, I hope this is something that increases over time. Like, I would like to even see like 2 times your charisma modifier.
Yeah, I would like to see this upgrade and update as you level up.
Because right now, even when you hit 20th level, it's still you're going to get 5 damage reduction, and you're going to do 5 extra necrotic damage to somebody, unless you have stupid charisma. Like, say you get a 30, then you're going to do what, 10? Actually, not even 10. It'd be what would that get you to? Yeah, that would get you to 10.
I thought this was also
uncanny dodge.
But yeah, Pokeniner says this was meant to be. This is originally going to be like a roguish type warlock, which I think is great.
Ooh,
I feel like Warlock is one of those classes I feel deserves, like if you were going to take an existing class, Warlock is definitely the one that deserves to have enough subclasses to cover everything else, right? Like being able to be a warlock that like got fighter proficiency, or a warlock that became like a monk or a rogue. Like there's too much where you're just another spellcaster, but again, you're being given, eldritch powers. You should be able to kind of like hold your own as something else. So I feel like I feel like they're underplayed a little bit. But Grasp of the Ghast, I like that. I think that's great. Charisma modifier, amount of damage, necrotic, whenever you get attacked, and you can use that right away. I think that any type of counterattack is always a great fit. I really think counterattacks like this are underutilized a lot in modern D&D, so I love that. I think that's a great way to start out. It's not a whole lot of damage, but I do want to see it upgrade over time.
I'm actually curious what, because Pokeniner is likening it to Uncanny Dodge. I'm kind of curious what Uncanny Dodge does to make it feel useful in later levels. I forget exactly what that is, but even if it was something like twice your level, right? I feel like that would be huge, right? Because at first level, all you're getting is 2, right? Not a whole lot. But at later levels, like once you hit level 20, you're getting 40, right? Twice your level at 40. Like that's not bad.
Oh, you know, it'd be great. Honestly, you know, it would be kind of cool. I don't think this will happen, but a cool feature like around like level like 5 or 6. Ah, so you have this static, right? But imagine you add an additive or a multiplier. I'd probably be an additive because multiplier can get kind of crazy with minions. But what if you had like a +1 or a static +2 for any creature that has died this combat? Because it does say specifically you're using Souls of the Departed. So what if you had this static baseline, but if in the current combat any creature has been downed, that adds to this because now there's a new fresh soul to pump it. So that would be interesting. It would just be a very interesting opportunity to be like, hey, I always do this base damage, but if anyone's died around me in the last initiative, like if we've taken out like 3 people, now I have like a +6 to my and my charisma modifier of damage. Because I have more souls that I'm grabbing to do this with. So that would be curious. That would be a unique way of doing it. I do think it would be a little bit intensive to constantly document how many have gone down around you, but it's a cool idea nonetheless. I still think feeding off of that because of the verbiage would be a cool idea nonetheless.
Yeah, I do. I'm a huge fan of that type of synergy. Pokeniner says Uncanny Dodge cuts the damage in half, which is interesting. Basically, just giving you full resistance to any damage. I'm curious if, again, it is at level 1, so resistance feels like a lot, but I will say giving resistance to like a singular damage type, so say someone hits you for necrotic and poison damage, you can choose one of those to get resistance to and then take half that damage, right? Type deal. For a reaction. Like I think that might be worth it. Whereas like you could even say it as like one of these souls is coming out to protect you or take some of the damage for you or something like that. Or take a portion of a type of the damage for you. So but okay. No. I love the idea. I'm hoping it stays useful as we go throughout, specifically because this is kind of like our bread and butter. This is what we're starting out with as the staple for this subclass. So
and we also get a second one at level 2 or at level 1, because we're gonna jump right to level 6 after this. But level 1, we also get Anchoring Soul. The spirit connected to your soul grants you resistance to the presence of death. You gain advantage on saving throws. Okay, so you just get so at level 1, not only do you get this back, but yeah, advantage on saving throws static. That's kind of
no death saving throws.
Yeah, death saving throws specifically. Yeah, advantage on death saving throws that is a static. That is great.
There's not much that messes with death saves at all. Gives you bonuses to it, touches with it, interacts with it, giving you just straight advantage on death saves. Like
that's huge. That's huge for a support character. I'm okay with that though. It doesn't feel too bad yet. It does not feel too overpowered because again, we're not going to get anything for 5 more levels. So all you're doing is being a half caster, being kept alive a little bit longer. I'm okay with that. Because again, it's only when you're being attacked and when you're dead. So it's only helping you.
Having advantage on death saving throws, I will say, when it comes to the threat of any encounter, whenever you go down, the likelihood that you may or may not die, it's a pretty decent margin. You got best like what, 3 out of 6 It's
Right.
3 out of 6. Like you got to get 3 successes before you get 3 failures. Like it's got to be that. So the likelihood goes down so much when every single one of those rolls is rolled at advantage, which means you take the better of the 2 rolls.
Yeah. You know a good way to balance that though? Wait, hold on. Advantage on all saving throws. I mean, you could balance it for every 2 consecutive misses at a permanent -1. So even though you get disadvantage, now you have you get advantage but -1 on your roll or something like that. So there's ways that you could make it work.
There's a feature that the rogue has in one of their subclasses, and they can whenever they kill an enemy or something, they can take something called a soul coin, and that soul coin is something that they keep with them and then they can use for stuff. I think it would be interesting if when you kill somebody, there's some soul thing that you get, some sort of economy that you can play with, and when you have that, you can get advantage on your death saving throws.
Okay.
Or you can spend it to get advantage on this set of death saving throws or something like that, right? That way it doesn't feel like every single time you go down, I'm not worried about going down. Because, put it this way, if I have advantage on all death saving throws, I will gladly throw myself into the thick of things. Now, granted, if somebody realizes you keep coming up over and over and over again after going down, they're eventually going to start hitting you while you're down.
Yeah. So you can't abuse it for life, but you will be able to abuse it.
There's definitely ways around it, but
I like it.
Okay.
I think it's pretty strong. For the first 5 levels, having 2 features that only benefit you, I think is a solid move.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so finally, level 6, we get Ghastly Shift. Your Ghastly Patron has granted you an improved spectral defense. As an action, you can temporarily shift into a spectral form for a minute. This came a lot sooner than I expected. I expected this to be towards level 14. This is crazy soon. So for a minute, you can take spectral form. While in this form, you gain the following features. You can trigger your Grasp of the Ghast reaction without expending the use of the feature. When you trigger it this way, you deal no damage back. Hold on.
You're just reducing the damage. You're not.
Okay, so you're not. Okay, but it's free. So you just get to reduce the damage at all times.
But it's free, yes.
Okay. You gain the hover speed equal to your walking speed.
Your reaction now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't cost you your So you gain the hover speed equal to your walking speed, and you can move through creatures as if they were difficult terrain, but you can't end your movement there. If you do so, you're ejected to the nearest unoccupied space. Take 1d10 force damage and drop this spectral form. I would love if that also did damage to the person as well. I would love if it was kind of a sacrificial thing where you're not necessarily abuseful, but maybe it does them a 1d4 or a 1d6. So it hurts you more than it hurts them. But I still wouldn't mind if it actually tried to hurt the other creature too.
Interesting.
You can use your bonus action to make yourself translucent. You can take the hide action regardless of whether you're behind cover or not. You also have advantage on stealth checks to hide, and creatures have disadvantage to see you while hiding. You lose this transparency once you cast a spell or make an attack. Once you use this feature, you must finish a long rest before you can use it again. So I do like one of my favorite aspects that I was a little bit worried about, but was covered in this, is that you can only move through creatures and not solid objects. So it's not going to get you past bars and gates and doors and window. It's not going to get you into places. It's primarily a sneak and combat feature.
That a lot of these normally do say is the squeeze rule, where basically you can squeeze within a space that's only 1 inch wide without
right.
whatever. Yeah, normally these ghastly forms or things like that will say stuff like that, but this makes it feel like yes, you can move through ish people, but you can't like squeeze yourself through spaces like
Yes.
that.
I'm very happy with that.
So,
And so with that, I'm okay with having it this early. I was a little bit worried about having it this early, but really it's a half-assed invisibility with, you know, a little bit of resistance. I'm totally fine with this. This isn't, again, nothing is making you overpowered. It's all self-protection, and it's not doing anything but making you a distraction on combat. I'm fine with this kind of stuff. And it fits with the lore.
curiosity, if you had hover, could you float over water?
I think so. You want to double check? I gotta use the restroom real quick, but you want to double check that? I think you can, but don't double check that while I'm gone.
I'm definitely gonna check that out. I don't think I've really ever asked myself that, because like I was trying to figure out like what's the purpose in giving someone or something hover if they can't fly. You're basically just walking. There's nothing you can really go over. But if you can float over water, which I feel like is valid, right? Hold on, let me look. Let me see if there's any ruling on that. Okay, hovering creatures. Glide over water. Hover part simply means if its movement speed is reduced to 0 or it's not prone, it doesn't fall to the ground. That's really all it's supposed to mean? There's no way. Hover speed is essentially a different form of flying speed. Just that you don't ever touch the floor, since you are always hovering. Yep, it's that simple. So you say it's a different form of flying speed. What this? So I'm checking this Reddit post, and it's basically saying that hovering, the only value in hovering is that when you get knocked prone, you don't actually touch the ground. But everything else, you might as well be walking.
But does that mean that you can't be knocked prone, like you officially aren't prone? Is that what the whole purpose is?
See, I don't think it means gravity doesn't apply to you. So like if it's just that you don't touch the ground when it does.
Because that was my whole thing. Is I thought hover had two purposes: difficult terrain and you can't be knocked prone. I thought those were the only two reasons why you have hover. Because if you're a flyer, you want hover because if you get knocked prone, you don't fall to the ground. I thought that was the whole point. Because a flyer, if you knock them like unconscious or whatever, or if you hit them like their wing, they could fall to the ground, like a bird can fall to the ground. But a creature with hover doesn't need arrow flight, meaning they are just magically in the air. So even if you knock them horizontal, they don't fall to the ground. That's what I thought hover meant, is you don't get knocked to the ground.
Like, say if you knocked a creature that can hover unconscious when they are 20 feet in the air, do they fall prone 20 feet in the air?
Or yes, I think if it's unconscious, I think hover doesn't matter once you're unconscious. I think it only matters if you were to hit someone and quote unquote knock them prone as a flyer. They don't get knocked prone unless I think unconscious is different. I would assume unconscious means they fall to the ground. But a move that would otherwise knock you prone if you're a flyer with hover means that you get knocked prone in the air, meaning you're just, again, I think it's more about whether or not you need to be moving to be in flight. Like a bird needs to be moving to be in flight. A bird can't hover, right? But DBZ, right? They get smacked around all the time and they're still in the air.
Yeah.
That's exactly the difference, is being knocked prone, meaning you get hit the ground, versus if you're hovering, you are still in the air, even if you're quote unquote prone. So technically, a Pokeniner is saying it should have a fly speed, not a prone, like the not a hover speed. It is supposed to be a fly speed.
So clarify, you should have a flying. Okay, got you. That is definitely Okay, you gain a. See, it does say speed equal to your walking speed. So, uh, um, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So theoretically, for this minute, I could just keep going up and up and potentially reach 1,000. You know,
in the sense that Pokeniner is saying that you're flying as hover, in the sense like I was describing, where you don't need wings, you don't need movement to maintain it. You are just in the air,
like Superman flight,
and going in any direction you want.
Flight. Yeah.
Similar to like levitation. Yeah.
Got you.
All right. So cool. With all of those balances, I'm okay with it at this early. I was a little bit worried. I'm fine with it being this early if these are the balances that we have. Oh, wow. Another thing at level, wow, this thing gets a bunch of stuff at each level. Also level 6, we get Slick Spirit. Your hazy body enhances your flexible skills. Whenever you make a dexterity check, you gain a bonus to the check equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of 1. In addition, you gain proficiency in one of the following skills of your choice: acrobatics, sleight of hand, or stealth.
Huh. Okay. It definitely makes you more roguelike. I love allowing you to...
Go ahead.
Okay, so when it says your hazy body, is it talking specifically when you're in your ghastly shift? Or is this just
I think it's all the time. I think it's at all times, because in the lore it said you're slowly shifting into this hazier, like, spectral form. So that's another thing I would have done, is I would have used this opportunity to call back to the lore and kind of give like like a description that says like, your body becomes more one with your spectral host or whatever, and you become more ethereal. This would also been a great time to give them a flat bonus to I mean, I guess it is a flat bonus to stealth checks, because you are doing dexterity checks that get your your modifier. But I would have like leaned it more into that, like, because you're more spectral, it's easier to hide, it's easier to do things, because this one's focusing on the flexibility, but you could have also like presented it as like being able to hide better as well. But I like that. I like that. I like that a lot of this is just self-inflicted. Like, it's all focused on benefiting yourself, not so much the party.
Sure. Yeah. This is not necessarily a support build.
Yeah, it knows what it is. It knows exactly what it is, and it's doing all of the right things. All right. Grave Grasp, level 10. The Whispers of the Dead are always on your side. Your Grasp of the Ghast feature no longer has a limit of uses, and you can deal the reduced damage back to the attacker, even in Ghastly Shift form. That's great. That's 2 upgrades right there. So unlimited uses, and you can use it in both forms. Additionally, you can use your Grasp of the Ghast feature to forgo any damage reduction and deal 2d10 plus your charisma modifier necrotic damage to the attacker instead. When you use this feature this way, you have advantage on your next attack against the attacker. Kind of interesting. As the Whispers of the Spirit give you edge against them. Once you use this feature, you must finish a short or long rest to use it again. Interesting. So you take all of the damage, but then you just really bitch slap them back.
So it says you no longer have limited uses of your Grasp of the Ghast. Okay.
Which I think you only originally got 1.
Do the damage back in your ghastly. You got a proficiency bonus number, I think.
Ah, okay. So at level 10, you just get unlimited.
Then you get unlimited, and then hold on, let me look. And then it says you can use the Grasp of the Ghast in a different way. Now, is the different way the way that you can only use it once? You can only use it once to do 2d10 damage.
Yes. You normally get the passive version where unlimited uses, even in your other form, but if you upgrade it, you only get to upgrade it once per short or long rest.
Yeah. Again, would you, if you are level 15, you have your reaction, you think the likelihood that somebody is going to move out of your range is high for an opportunity attack. Would you use your reaction to negate 5 damage and do 5 damage when you have the opportunity? It would be a theoretical guaranteed 5 damage, I think. But would you use that reaction to do that instead of take an opportunity attack? Because
it depends on it depends because I'm a warlock. What's the likelihood, what's the damage output that I'm most likely to have at level 10 as a warlock for an opportunity attack? Is it going to beat 2d10 plus my charisma modifier?
If you have Warcaster and you have the ability to cast spells, absolutely, because your spells will scale. If you're a warlock that took Pact to the Blade, absolutely, because you'll have your Pact weapon. We're
talking about right now. If I'm this subclass at level 10, this subclass, is it likely that I'm going to be able to do 2d10 plus my charisma modifier worth of damage on an opportunity attack? Because if I'm not as another warlock,
the 2d10, I'm talking about the 5. I'm talking about the 5 because you get unlimited uses of it now. So I can spam this Grasp of the Ghast all day long. But as of right now, that's only going to be 5.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see. Yeah. Okay.
This is when I would want the damage reduction that I normally get to be able to do more. And at level 10 and level 15, 5 damage is going to be nothing, right? And so using my reaction to do basically nothing.
So what I would do is I would
saving my reaction to do a potential attack.
Then I would almost reverse it and say it no longer costs a reaction to use, but you still have a limited number of uses.
Say that one more time.
You no longer use your reaction, but you still have your number of proficiency uses. So you just don't use a reaction in order to use it, but you still can only use it up to your proficiency number of times per day. So this way,
you might be able to like stack a multiple of them in one attack.
Or like you can even put it in there where you only get 1 per attack. So if they have multi-attack, you only get to burn 1, but it just doesn't burn your reaction. So like you get attacked, you get to use it, and then they move away and you still get to opportunity attack.
All of that from my perspective is moot if it's still only 5 damage. What I'm saying is if I could potentially, if I had proficiency number uses of this and I could use 5 of them all at once, instead of it just being 5 damage, now it's 25 damage that I'm reducing. That would be valuable for me. Let me stack 5 of them on this attack and potentially actually save a good chunk of my health, protecting myself. Uncanny Dodge halves the attack's damage. Whatever the attack is, if it was 100, you just blocked 50 damage with Uncanny Dodge. Right now, I'm blocking 5. That's it. So if I have the opportunity at level 10, at level 15 to block more damage than just 5, I definitely want to use my reaction to do more than that. And so if I have the ability to stack uses in one instance of damage, I feel like that would be that.
So more like just a currency where for every use you block X number of damage.
Yes.
Would you want it to be a static damage or a die roll of damage?
I love the consistency of static damage, but if it is static damage, it can't be a lot. Or if it's static damage, I like the fact that it's only in 5 increments. You know what I'm saying? If it was rolled, then I would just, increase the size of the die, kind of like you do with what do you call it? Like monks and their unarmed strikes. Like eventually when you get more powerful, you just increase the size of the die. If we were going to do a die roll, I would go that way rather than trying to stack it.
Yeah.
Just state your flying server. I ask what OP attack you have. as a warlock. In terms of OP attack and the possible damage output of the ability was the scare in testing. Yeah, I get it, because like imagine Eldritch Blast. Eldritch Blast at level 10, I think you get 3 beams with your Eldritch Blast. It's still only 1d10, but that's 3d10 overall if all of them are going to the same target. That's a pretty good amount of damage, you know. Again, a lot of the times, actually, does Grasp of the Ghast, does it say whether it needs to be melee or ranged attack? Or is it just period? Because if it's just period...
It's just attack that you see. You just have to see it.
Oh, snap.
So it can be a ranged attack, yeah.
That's a lot better than I thought.
Yeah, and I think that works better for a warlock. So, I'm not upset with Grave Grasp. I see what you're saying. I think, yeah, I would either up the damage or remove the need for the reaction. Because again, like you're saying, I don't want to burn a reaction. I don't mind having unlimited uses, because I mean, any damage saved is damage saved. But like you're saying, if it's only going to remain 5, I don't want to be burning my reaction. I don't mind if I have an economy that I can only use it so many times. That's okay. Because even if I only use it when someone is only going to do 5 damage to me, that's fine. But I don't want to burn a reaction if my, like you said, my reaction is going to be 10 times stronger. But I do want to see also the amount of damage increased. So we'll see if that increases from here. But yeah, other than that, I like it. I like the concept of the upgrade of Grasp. And I like that you can use it in your form. But the fact that you're still burning your reaction, the fact that you're still burning a economy, it's just not worth it anymore. It's really not worth to use at this point. It doesn't upgrade enough with you. So I'll give you that one as well. All right, so we moved to level.
I really do.
So we moved to level 14. You learn the Etherealness spell. That's 7th level. Step the border. Where during this time you can move in any direction. Creatures. Okay, so it's like a planeswalking spell.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Is it kind of like a blink where you literally go to the ethereal plane?
Yeah, you do, and then you can move in any direction, up, down. Every foot of movement costs an extra foot. You can see into the other plane, but everything there looks gray. You can't see anything more than 60 feet away. You can only affect other creatures on this plane. You ignore objects that aren't on this plane. So yeah, basically it's like going full ghost form, but you're in a different plane instead of just being like invisible.
But that duration though.
Oh, what was it?
8 hours.
Yeah, up to 8 hours. That's nice.
That thing, and you have that thing turned on all day long, dude. That's kind of dope actually, because you can go in and out at your leisure, right?
I didn't see that part. Let me.
I think you should be able to go in and out.
You remain in the border ethereal for the duration until you use your action to dismiss the spell. So you're always in there until you dismiss it.
Oh, interesting. So when you come out, it's it. Okay.
I kind of like your idea better. Being able to pop in and out. But, you know.
Yeah, if I had that ability, again, for 7th level, I think being able to like step in and out of the ethereal plane at will, I think that's kind of legit.
Right.
I think that's kind of legit. I don't think that's crazy.
You can also cast it once without a spell slot, and you regain it after a long rest. Additionally, your patron's blessing grants you the ability to disrupt the souls you come in contact with. Once per turn, when you pass through an unoccupied space of a creature, while in your ghastly form, you can have that creature make a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC. On fail, the creature takes 2d10 necrotic damage and is stunned for a minute, as you muddle their souls connected to their body. On a success, the creature takes half damage and isn't stunned. If the creature can repeat its saving throw at the end of each of its turns, and the condition on a success, if a creature's saving throw is successful, or the effect ends for it, the creature is immune to this feature for the next 24 hours.
Oh my gosh. I just realized it said they were stunned for a minute.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild. That's fucking wild. Is this their capstone feature? Is there anything after this?
Nope, this is it.
Okay. So with that in mind,
And it's only once per turn, so you can't just sit there and walk through a bunch of enemies. I do like the 24-hour, you know, like, you can't just spam it. It's pretty fucking powerful, but I don't know, 2d10 may not be enough.
okay. So on a successful okay, so what does it say about them repeating the saving throw or being able to be affected? Let me see if I can.
So when you pass through, you have the creature make a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC. On a fail, 2d10 necrotic damage and stun for a minute. On a save, half damage and not stunned.
So I will say this. See, I don't know. So you remember how you were talking about earlier about wanting to, when you do the thing, it would do damage to them and to you?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is kind of that. And so I think whatever damage they said you would have taken back then, I think this feature should also do to you. Specifically because I think the 2d10 element, this is only while you're in your ghastly form you can do this, right? And that's something that only lasts for a minute anyways. So I think you should be able to do the 2d10 damage over and over again, and the stunned is the element that you're locked out of for 24 hours. And so once you stun them, or once they save from being stunned, you can't attempt to stun them again for another 24 hours. But you can repeat that damage. But the damage, you don't want to spam it too much because it's eventually going to do damage to you. It'll do more to them, but it'll still do damage to you. So I think that might be a good bet, because I like the fact that you can do damage. If you could do this to everybody just once, yes, I do still think that's valuable. It's not a lot of damage. It's not a lot, especially at level 14. But if you could do this like over and over again with doing a little bit of damage to yourself, I think it would still be worth it to use. I think that it could be very strategic how you go about using it. But
I mean, even if it said once per creature per turn, it's fine. Like, if I can't just go back, I don't want to cheese grater a character where I just, walk back and forth.
Absolutely.
But if it said once per creature per turn, so if I could walk through 3 creatures, fuck it, they all take the damage. That is priceless. And, for me, coming from AD&D 2nd edition, right? I don't mind a give and take. I don't mind punishing the players for getting powerful shit. So in something like this, I wouldn't mind if it's harder to save, but a failed save either does you damage or knocks you out of gaseous form, right? Because you're trying to, do damage. You're basically trying to occupy the same spot. So I wouldn't mind that kind of a punishment. I know that's not really 5th edition friendly, but really, like you're saying, if I'm going to be out there for a minute, I like the idea that if they save against the stun, they're immune to being stunned for 24 hours. They still have to save against the damage because they can't stop me from walking through them. They can just save against the chill factor of being knocked out. Either this has to be way more damage on one person, like, because this is barely, other capstones are AoEs. Like, this either has to be way more damage, or I have to be able to just anybody I touch, literally anybody I touch for the minute has to deal with this. This could even be also anybody you walk through or anybody you melee attack. You know what I mean? Just basically you become a life-sucking machine.
Yeah.
I think that would make the capstone feel better and on par, because 2d10 one person, only once per turn, and then once they save out, you're done. That's kind of harsh.
I do kind of understand the desire to make it so that, okay, because theoretically, if there's a battlefield of like 30 combatants, the way this is written right now, I could run through all 30 of those combatants and do 2d10 damage to all 30 of those combatants and potentially stun all 30 of those combatants for a minute. Now, I would only be able to do that once the entire battle. But I could do that to everyone. So being able to, if I increase the damage, that's basically saying I'm increasing the chance that I could one-shot a lot of those 30 combatants. Because some of those 30 combatants are going to be minions, some of them are going to be generals, some of them are going to be captains, some of them are going to be whatever. So I understand not wanting to make the fact that I could do that to all 30 of those combatants to make that damage too high. Because then it might be a little too crazy. But I do like the idea that, again, if I can do it more often than just like once per, if I can do damage more often than once per person, like even if there was like an initial damage of like maybe 3d10 and then the chance to get stunned, that's locked out, but every other time I do it, it's just like a singular d10, right? Every time after the first time, but again, that would become too much to track. Like, have I done it to you before? Oh, no, I haven't. Or yes, I have. It's the original. I don't want to have to track all that stuff. I don't want to care about all that stuff. But, yeah. So I'll say I get it. But at the same time, I'm just trying to feel like how this would feel in practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Another option to make it feel not necessarily more balanced, but more interesting, because a lot of the times, you know, we want to see how we could be a little bit more creative with how 5th edition wants to approach things. And so this is very static, the way that this save works. Like, this is just very traditional, right? Half damage and no additional effect. But what if this one came differently? What if, same thing, 2d10 damage, right, on a failed, and a stun for 1 minute on a failed. But what if on a save, it's half damage and the creature becomes frightened? Because then the creature wants to move away from you, which means trying to get them second again would almost be not necessarily impossible, but would just be more difficult. So it also negates the need to worry about multiple terms of damage, because if it saves, it's just going to run away from you the moment it has a chance. So it wouldn't really be a balance, it'd just be a unique and different dynamic without just saying it's a you get it or you don't. Because that's another problem with sometimes that we get with capstones, is if they can save out, it's kind of a damned if you do, or, you know, great if you do, damned if you don't. It's like, but it's capstone. Like, I'd still like something to happen more than just half damage.
Yeah. Especially if the half damage is just half of 2d10.
So, you know, if, like you were saying, if they get immune to the stun condition for 24 hours, but they're still frightened, like...
Sure. I like frightened. I'll say, I think at least in 5th edition, like, it says you can't move closer to them, but it doesn't necessarily say you have to run away from them.
That's fair.
So
that's true.
If they just hold their ground, well, put it this way: if they hold it, well, as of right now, there's no. If we were to just change, adding the frightened, I wouldn't be able to walk over them again and do any more damage.
Yeah.
I would say that would be the compelling element for them to run away. Is if I could do more damage, then yeah. If I could walk over you again and do another 2d10 damage. You know what I would like for this? I think this might help out a lot. If you had to use your action to do this. And I know that sounds crazy, but so I'm not doing this. I'm not just walking over somebody and then beating the crap out of them. Because theoretically, I can attack when I'm in this form. I have everything that I am. I can still shoot Eldritch Blast and do stuff like that when I'm in this form. So imagine I walk through somebody, shoot him with Eldritch Blast, and then cast a bonus action leveled spell that does some damage to them or something
Doesn't
like
casting
that.
a spell knock you out of Ghastly Shift though?
No, it just knocks you out of being translucent in Ghastly Shift. So because when you go in Ghastly Shift, you're just you. You can do whatever you gotta do for a minute.
That's right. Yep.
But then when you go translucent, you get a bunch of helps with like stealth and some other stuff.
Okay. I see what you said. Yeah.
So if that specific thing took your action to do that 2D whatever damage, and I would say it takes your action, and then anybody you hit takes the 2D, right? So you can do it to multiple people if you have enough speed, right? Maybe it's like that. Whenever you take the dash action, you can do this thing. You take the dash action, you run through a bunch of people, you try to necrotic them, you try to hit them with the necrotic or stun them or whatever the case may be. Then it would feel like I'm not like doing stupid damage output on top of my regular attacks and damage and stuff like that. So divide frightened due to undead. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So what's interesting is would you, even though it does damage, but it is more of a passive effect, because it doesn't require an action, would you consider this ability an attack? Or would you consider it a byproduct?
I would consider it the same way that I would consider somebody with Spirit Guardians up. Somebody who casts Spirit Guardians, I cast a spell, it's a spell on the range of self, and I have these Spirit Guardians around me. And if I start running around, then I can walk through a space that has an enemy in it, and then they are going to enter the space with my Spirit Guardians, and they're going to be affected by my Spirit Guardians.
But that's not technically an attack, right? That's an effect.
Correct. That is the result of you moving.
So
an ability that you have access to.
So, added benefit of Deathly Haze. It only activates when you're in Ghastly Shift. And as a bonus action in Ghastly Shift, I can go translucent and take the hide action. So I could basically become effectively invisible, right? Right in front of people, go translucent, take the hide action, and I'd only become translucent again when everything ends, or if I attack. But if this doesn't necessarily attack, I can become translucent, take the hide action, and then start walking through enemies and not actually become visible again, because it wouldn't be considered an attack. So technically you can add on the extra benefit of not even, because then you could walk through an enemy, walk to the next one, and you wouldn't provoke an opportunity attack because you'd be translucent. So technically there'd be no opportunity attack.
5th edition, the opportunity attack's still there, it's just at disadvantage because you can't see them.
Okay, so then you'd still get that, but at least then you get that benefit. You'd still get the benefit of being able to walk away.
Although I would honestly, if I were a player, I would make an argument like, there is a ghost, an invisible ghost passing through you, and you're trying to tell me you know when that invisible ghost is leaving your attack range?
Right? That's how I feel. Like, I don't feel like it really makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd be able to walk away without AoE, right? Attack of opportunity,
Yeah,
but
like, that's wild. That's wild. But hey, fair enough.
Okay, so let's look at the invocations real quick, and then we'll give this an overall score. So here are your invocations for this particular one. We have Pact of the Mantle. This pact can be added to other pact boons made available by the Warlock at level 3. Your patron gives you a Mantle of Patronage. The mantle adjusts to fit the wearer and can be recalled back to its owner as a bonus action. Once per turn, the wearer makes an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw with disadvantage. They can choose to remove the disadvantage from that roll. So that's cool. So just once per turn, you can be like, I'm not going to take disadvantage on this.
Okay.
This benefit can be used a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and all expended uses are restored when you finish a long rest. Okay. That's interesting.
That's a very interesting pact. So this would be in place of something like Pact of the Tome, or Pact of the Blade, or Pact of the Chain, which gives you the familiar. And it kind of solidifies the type of warlock you're going to be, whether you're going to be a melee warlock, whether you're going to be a spellcasting warlock, or whether you're going to try and be more of like a support style warlock with the familiar. This almost makes me feel like you're going to be like a tank-ish. This almost makes me feel like you're going to want to be like in the thick of things, trying to make sure. Oh wait, no, but it's when I have disadvantage on an attack roll.
Or ability check or saving throw. Anytime you have, basically, when you ever have disadvantage, you can remove it. So it's going to be pretty unique in the cases, but there are going to be times where it's going to be super helpful.
I mean, there's nothing that says this has to be in combat, so I could just be making a persuasion check on somebody and like, oh, you have disadvantage because you were mean to him earlier. No, I don't.
Yeah, right. Like, nah, they like me anyway. So that's interesting. That's interesting. This is definitely not a boon that I'm used to, but I like it. I like it for its roleplay purposes. I like it for the fact that at certain tables, this could be really great. I just don't think most tables would expect it. The mantle is just that cool to look at.
Yes, right. It is just like, oh, you looking cool, dude. I got you.
All right, so let's see what else it comes with. So we get, let's see. So woven defense, your mantle can weave into your armor while you're wearing your mantle patronage and set of armor. You can use your charisma modifier instead of dexterity when determining your armor class. Does not change the AC bonus of the AC bonus limits of certain armors. That's kind of nice. I like that.
Oh, that's crazy. That's actually really cool.
Use your charisma because you are a warlock.
Yeah, so instead of you need a dex, like say if you're wearing light armor, you get like your entire dex bonus.
Yeah.
But as a warlock, if your dex is only a +2 or a +3, put your charisma there instead, you get a +5 to your AC. That's kind of fire.
That one's nice. I like that one. So that one just requires Pact of the Mantle. You can get Awakened Mantle. This is 5th level Path of the Mantle. Your mantle gains a small bit of sentience in order to aid its bearer. Once per turn, whenever a creature makes an attack roll or ability check with advantage against the wearer, they can expend a use of your Pact of the Mantle feature to remove the advantage from that roll. That's kind of cool. Okay. I'm liking this play.
Doctor Strange. This is some Doctor Strange.
I'm liking the play here.
Yeah.
I mean, you did. I'm thinking that's where this is coming from. Mantle of Freedom, 12th level. The wearer of this mantle gains a flying speed equal to their walking speed. They can't use this flying speed if they were wearing heavy armor. In addition, if the wearer falls, their rate of descent slows to 60 feet per round. If they landed, they take no fall damage and can land on their feet. Yeah, this is definitely Doctor Strange all at once. Warding Weave at 15th level. Your mantle of patronage can shift around to better absorb attacks. Whenever the wearer takes damage, they can use their reaction to have the damage.
There's your uncanny dodge right there. There's your uncanny dodge right there. And the fact that this is unlimited.
Yeah.
That feature right there is unlimited. It's exactly like uncanny dodge. It's once per turn. Whenever you take damage, well, it's once per turn because you use your reaction, but whenever you take damage, you just have it.
Yeah.
Like,
insane.
That's so dope. That's
insane.
So I love all of those.
And I do like that it's a prerequisite of 15. I like that that's basically a level up process for your invocation.
Yeah. No, that's scary good.
I really want to know how much of that was actually based off of Doctor Strange's cape, though. Because that's like all I can see now.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. It's so good, though. It's so good. And like the way that they word it, it fits really well, and I feel like it has really good balance for what it is. So yeah,
I mean, at that point, you might as well just give it billowing.
Yeah, dang straight. It's got sentience already. It's got to have some billowing.
50-50 Doctor Strange. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, there we go. I want to know what the other 50% is now.
All right, so additional Eldritchifications. We have a Demon's Scent. You can cast Detect Poison and Disease on yourself at will without expending a slot or material components. Touch of the Fiend. Your hands become horrific fiendish claws. When you make an unarmed strike, you can use your charisma modifier instead of strength. The attack rolls. Your unarmed strikes also deal piercing damage equal to 1d4 plus your charisma modifier on a hit, and the target must also succeed a Constitution saving throw against your Warlock spell save DC or become poisoned until your next turn. That's kind of crazy.
I kind of wish, because, never mind. I was gonna say I kind of wish it was necrotic instead of piercing, but you can get this at first level, so I don't think you should have a manual necrotic damage at first level. So
that'd be a little low.
It might be aggressive.
Voice of the Banshee. This requires 5th level and a hex spell or a warlock feature that curses. As an action, you create a horrific scream in the mind of a single creature cursed by your hex spell or by a warlock feature of yours. The creature must make a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC. If they fail, they take 3d6 psychic damage and are stunned until the end of your next turn. If they succeed, they take half damage and are not stunned. Once you use this feature, you must finish a short or long rest before you can use it again. Cool name. Cool. That's a cool name, but I almost would have preferred if the lore had said that you snatch a soul, like a soul they recognize, and show it to them or something, right? Like, because the idea is like you're grabbing souls.
Oh.
So the idea is like instead of just a horrific scream, it's like you show them a soul, like a soul they recognize, or something like that.
I have this picture in my head of like souls screaming in some. I want to say it's like why did I say Daredevil? Who's the dude with the burning skull?
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. God bless America. I feel like in some Ghost Rider movie, I saw like a bunch of like souls, and like I imagine you just like pulling one of these tortured souls and just like shoving it in their face or shoving it in their mind, and it like flies around in there and just scares the shit
I think it's his pentant stare is what that one is.
Ghost Rider. Yep.
But yeah, so I like that. That's a cool feature. Eldritch Immutability. You are immune to any spell or requires 7th level. You are immune to any spell or effect that would alter your form unless you willingly allow it to alter you. Additionally, when you are concentrating on a magical effect or spell that targets only you or has a range of self, you have advantage on any concentration check to maintain that spell.
I love that. I love that second part. How it's like you get advantage on concentration checks that have to do with yourself. Yes. I think that is so cool. Especially because this build, like you said earlier, is so focused on yourself. It's not really like a team player, so to speak. It's meant to, I need to be the best I can be type deal, and this totally lets you do that. If I cast what's that one? There's a spell that like gives you increased armor. Whatever, it's out there. There's another spell like mirror image. I think that one's either mirror image or blur as concentration.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these little things that like you want to make sure you keep up. Actually, I'm curious. Do you think something like it's not called lightning storm. What's it called? The spell where call lightning. It's literally called call lightning. You basically cast it, and within a 60-foot range of wherever you cast it, you can just call down random bolts of lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, spell that targets only you or has a range of self. Yeah, it would not fall into that category. Okay. Fair enough. Not even that one. No.
I like it though.
Okay, but I like it a lot. I think it's a very cool one. Especially it's for 7th level. I think it's a good level for it too.
Yeah, and our last one at level 15 is Shadow Sphere. You can cast Circle of Power once without expending a spell slot. You regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest.
Circle of Power. I must have missed that link because I probably would have linked that spell because I don't know what that one is.
Yeah, I don't have a link for it. I'm not familiar with Circle of Power.
Spells. Does it say what level it is? I think it might be an 8th or 9th level
I
spell.
mean, you hit it at 8 is 15, so yeah, it's got to be a 7th plus level spell.
Oh, 18. Oof.
Or 15.
Oh,
you get it at level 15.
Okay.
It's a paladin 5th level spell.
5th level? What?
That's a paladin spell.
I don't see that circle of power.
Let's see. 5th level. One action, concentration up to 10 minutes. Divine energy radiates from you, distorting and diffusing magical energies within 30 feet of you. Until the spell ends, the sphere moves with you, centered on you for the duration. Each friendly creature in the aura, including you, has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. Additionally, when an affected creature succeeds on a saving throw made against a spell or magical effect that allows it to make a saving throw to take only half damage, instead takes no damage if it succeeds on the saving throw. So basically gives you advantage on saving throws, and if you succeed, you get full damage reduction.
Which is basically uncanny dodge.
But for everybody around you, for everybody within 30 feet.
Yeah. It's like a paladin aura. No wonder it's a paladin spell.
Right.
Imagine having this and the one right before it, where you have advantage on concentration checks, because Circle of Power does have a range itself.
Yeah. So that would be the tie-in.
Yeah, I would, because it's a 5th level spell, and like, didn't we have ones that were much higher level spells than that earlier? I thought we did, but
I don't think so. I mean, no, 5th level spell. Hollow was a 5th level spell.
Oh, it was a 5th level spell. I swear there was something you were looking at that was like a 7th level spell.
Oh, the etherealness at level 14.
There you go. And that was in the main subclass, right?
Yeah, that's just their ability at level 14. They get that, and then they get to buff their ghastly shape.
Yeah, I say Circle of Power, as long as I can also cast Circle of Power with my regular spell slots. I'm super chill with that.
Oh yeah, I just think you get one free one is the kind of the benefit there.
Okay.
That's cool. No, I like this. This has a lot of cool ideas. It's not the direction I would go. Like I love the ideas for it. It's definitely going to give me the inspiration for it. It's nothing's wrong with it. It's not imbalanced. It's just not the direction I would have gone specifically with a spirit level warlock on a codification. But I think it's perfect. Like I think it's great for most parties. I think most people can pick this up. I think it's a great anti-support hero, because that's what it is. It's like an anti-support hero because it is supportive in what it can do. The fact that, again, like you were saying, this is the anti-support. It's the anti-tank hero. This isn't a tank. They don't have a lot of meat. They don't have a lot of defense. They don't have a lot of life. But you know what? They're not going to die. Right? Like they're the ones that are meant to be in the middle of
they can take hits
and then they can dish them out. So it's like, this is that one where it's the anti-support hero. It's the guy that's in the middle of combat and no one knows why, but somehow they're effective. Like that, like they're the ones that are doing random amounts of damage. They're tanking random hits when they shouldn't be. They're probably being more of a distraction than anything else, but they're super useful in combat, even though no one knows what they're doing. And I love that. I feel like that's the kind of support hero a lot of parties miss, is everyone wants to do something, and this is exactly not doing anything, but it's being extremely helpful. Pokeniner says, longest thing they had to deal with was the design or the undead warlock dealing with the undead, so I had to really focus a lot on aspects of ghosts rather than just undead. Yeah, and I think you did great there. Like the only other things you could have done is, like, again, give it more abilities that ghosts have, but I mean, otherwise I think this locks in just fine. I mean, honestly, you could have added like some fun roleplay features, you know, like once per day, you can perform a seance and get and ask a question to a spirit, or like you can know like with a like you can make an insight check and know if someone had a recent passing in their life, like a loved one that's passed. So kind of like that, where you could role play, where I can make a roll and be like, oh, I wanted to just say your aunt forgives you. You could just do one of those kind of things, right? Oh, yeah, no, your Aunt Stacy, she says she forgives you. Don't worry about. I just wanted to pass that message. And then they're like, well, how would you know that? Be like, well, we actually need some, kind of like one of those things where it's like you're in the middle of a tough negotiation, and like you're like, we need some help. I roll an insight, be like, your grandfather used to say, give a stranger a chance. So maybe this is your, I just imagine you being able to pull that shit out of your ass because you're literally looking over their shoulder and being like, give me a spirit that knows them and just give me something that will help me in this situation. It's not quite speak with the dead, but imagine that, just like an insight check to just get a sliver of help from the undead could be a really interesting way to make this character feel more attuned with the spirit world and not the undead world.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. I think that's actually very cool. I think the way that you went about this Pokeniner actually is very intriguing, and I love the connection that you have. And it's not just with like undead, and like the picture shows us, a lady and like coming off of a ring, but like you can make this be a lot of different things. Like this could have been, your old sensei. This could have been, a brother. Yo, imagine if this was like your twin that like died in the womb or something like that.
Oh yeah,
like,
there's so many opportunities for this.
Weird. Yeah, absolutely, and different ways you can make these connections like work for you. And yeah,
I mean, you can even have fun with it. You could even, because again, depending on the backstory the character wants to make, you could even make it to where the pact that you made with the Restless Ghost is actually like a cabal or like a secret organization of multiple ghosts, right? Like trying to work with you and trying to like maybe you were part of some secret society and you're the only living member, so all of your your brethren are technically your patron.
Why am I picturing all of the Jedi ghosts just exactly around like Luke Skywalker, be like, all right, these are my boys right here. I'm like, all right, I got you, dog.
But it takes because none of them are an Eldritch deity. It takes all of them just to give you a morsel of half-caster power. So it's like, sorry, look, we couldn't give you a real deity, so all of us came together. Yeah. Because that might be like the way that I would go with it a little bit more, is like, really tie into what does it mean to be more of like in the spirit world, like, being able to contact the spirits, almost be like essentially make this like a medium, right? Like make it more like your powers are being a medium than you are like, powered by some evil force or some, greater force. So being able to talk to the dead and have stuff like that. I mean, even speak with dead would have been a cool ability to have with this one. Because that's a little bit more up on the spiritual side of things. But yeah, I like it. I think there's a lot of benefit here. I think a lot of people could use it. It's really cool, but it is a slightly different direction than I would have taken specifically with a Warlock direction. But that's not to count it out. But you will get the inspiration point. So I'm going to give this one a solid 7 out of 10. I think it's great. I think anyone should be able to use it. It has a lot of cool ideas on it, and it's very similar to... some of the ideas are very similar to what I would do, but yeah, just slightly off from my direction. But I think, yeah, to pick this up if you like it. This whole concept of being powered by a spirit or a group of spirits is phenomenal. I want to see what people could do with this. I'd love to hear in the comments what you all could come up with in terms of a storyline and a campaign arc for this. So let us know. This will be available on the leaderboard soon. I just realized too what I'm going to do soon. A new project that I need to do is I just wrote it down. I need to make a because I have the Steam Deck with all the hotkeys. I need to make hotkeys for 1 through 10. And what I need to do is I need to make it to where whenever it's right time for a score, I press a button and it pops up like a random GIF and sound clip for relating to like the score. So it's like if I give something like a 10 out of 10, it'll just like pop up with one of those like Olympic things where a bunch of people like hold up the side of a 10.
Yeah.
And then just, kind of like a bowling, like if you've ever been bowling and you get like a, the score and it always shows you like a random animation. Absolutely. I should just do random memes for every time I give it a score. I can just hit a button and it'll grab a random meme and throw it up on screen.
That's a fucking great idea. I love that shit.
You get a 5. You got the most neutral score ever.
Hey, listen, I don't know who comes up with those bowling ones, man, but some of those are wild as fuck, bro. Like, I cannot. There was literally a 9/11 bowling skit where they literally had airplanes flying into pins. I'm like,
Yeah,
how wild is it? Just
unhinged.
like a split or some bullshit. I'm like, get out of here, dude. Get out of here.
Some things be unhinged, you know what I'm saying? Some things be
I'm
unhinged.
not wrong. You are not wrong.
All right, well, that was kind of cool. I just realized that I had asked if people wanted to do marbles, and everyone said yes, but I didn't see that, and we had just started. So we'll end with marbles. I'll do one quick little game of marbles since people are here.
Did they say yes? I thought nobody voted.
And there was a couple votes.
Oh, I thought it was balls.
So we'll go ahead and get that started up here. We'll give people a nice little race, and then we'll get going.
Let's do it.
If the game will hurry up and load and not be frozen on my screen.
Disrespectful.
It is, because I don't know what's going on. There we go. Yeah. There you go. Boom. All right. Let's go down here. Let me get... Oh, we lost you. Where?
Hey, you don't need me for marbles.
Nah. Just need your voice. All right, so let's do... let's do some bloop, because I think bloop... No, wait, no, bloop didn't make any sense. We tried bloop last time. Bloop didn't make sense. So let's just do a common race. Let's just do that. We'll just get in on a race. We gotta try more of these, but eventually we'll try more of them when we have more time. All right, let's find out. What do we want here? Something we haven't done before. Oh, this one looks crazy. All right, everybody, let's go.
Let's go.
Lock in if you want to play some marbles. Y'all know how this works.
I forgot how this works. What do I gotta press?
Y'all know how this works. I forgot how it works. On the screen, type exclamation point play in order to play.
Exclamation point.
Let's go, everybody. We'll give y'all a few minutes. Everyone get in. We got myself. We got Kage. Let's go, everybody. Time for a marbles race. I owe it to you from the very beginning.
Let's go.
Oh, look at what do we have here? What is this craziness? What is this mousetrap looking monstrosity? What is this what is this Nightmare Before Christmas background?
That is for real some wild pumpkins just chilling out there, dude. That's crazy.
So this is going to be interesting. All right. We got anybody? Is no one else joining? Oh, is everyone leaving? Everyone left. Okay.
Come on, Soul, Hecate, I see you chilling there. You know you want to
apparently no one wants to play. Apparently everybody just wanted to hear the score and then they left. So that's what it is.
Wow. Fine. That's all right. I'll race you. I'll lose, but I'll race you.
I mean, we'll see. We're in the Bunsen burner now. Uh-oh, look at that.
Go off.
Uh-oh. They got a leak here. You see that?
Oh, shoot.
Oh, there's another leak over here. Uh-oh. That propane's leaking.
We're finna blow. That's bad.
Chat, we're finna blow up, chat. You gotta get in here before we have to go.
Hook it up.
Right. I'm gonna give you 20 more seconds, chat. I'm gonna give you 20 more seconds. No one wants to play. Everyone's out. Everyone's already checked out. No one cares. It's either that or the stream's on delay, but I don't think the stream's on delay, so.
It's not that bad of a delay, at least.
All right, fine. Nobody wants to play with us. That's fine. I see how it is. All right. Let's see what happens. We're in the Bunsen burner. Okay, what are we doing? Oh,
How do you
What
get
happened?
out?
the arm took us. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay. The arm's taken. The arm's taken
Why do I
over.
feel like this is Toy Story and we're in the claw machine?
Oh shit, here we go. The claw has chosen. Oh, right through, both of us right through. How crazy. Oh, both of us neck and neck. Oh, what is this? What is the, oh, this is an invisible neck and neck. How
Oh, that's scary.
poetic.
That's so scary.
How poetic. Oh, right into the hole. I got ahead. You got locked. Got locked behind. Go. All right, I got up the hill.
So slow.
Oh, Kage's out. Kage died.
I died. Rip.
Yeah. Oh, now
That's what
Soul
I
wants to
need.
play. I see Soul. We gave you guys so long. All right. Well, we'll just follow me then.
You gave Vortex the win, Soul. That's what happened. You would have won.
Right.
Well, you would have had a chance at least.
Meow. Where are we going now? Uh-oh, what happened? Where are we going? Oh, where am I? Oh, I'm in another bowl. Oh no, I got stuck in a bowl. See, Soul, you could have won right now. You could have been in the lead. Oh, I went right through again. Oh, lucky me. I mean, I'm the only one playing, so lucky me completely, but still. I'm not getting, you know, cut back at all.
All the luck.
Oh no! And game over.
Did you lose?
I did. I ran right off the edge.
Oh, rip.
I got 10 points, or I got 12 points. Unfortunate. All right.
Everdeen.
Well, that was fun. Yeah, I think I'll have to remind myself to just get this started every game or every stream, and we'll eventually.
You get to mess around with it a little bit.
I think starting and ending a stream with a race is kind of fun. Every now and again, maybe give away some points, especially if we're going to be doing like the lightsaber giveaway. Now more than ever, will points matter?
So
points will be fun.
What are these channel points, or should I say high points?
So what I'm thinking is, I think we have enough high points out there right now that it would be worth finally using those for like the giveaway and all of that. Because like the XP, you know, like the actual channel points, it's like I want those to be saved for like actual interactions, right? Because that's the stuff that they can spend on interacting with us. Whereas, you know, the actual other stuff, that's like what they get. They've been getting it for years since they've been watching. So being able to have that and do like giveaways and stuff and raffles using those points is was always the whole point. So now it'll actually be even better.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, if that's the case, I think we're all done for tonight. Do we have a plan do we have anything that we wanted to do by Friday? I might have an OSR update. Most likely nothing playable, but do we have any ideas what we want to do, or want to keep it open and just play it by ear?
Well,
I don't
have anything specific. Like I said, I can always grill you for some questions. I can always I'm always down to build something, you know that.
Yeah.
But
all right, well, let's plan for some questions. If we come up with a thing to build, we'll do that. Otherwise, we'll back up to questions, and then if we're just not feeling it, then we always have games.
This is true. And hopefully whatever issue was going on last time is remedied, because that was kind of wild.
I don't think we are at a delay anymore. So hopefully I figured it out, but we will definitely figure that one out. But anyway, thank you all for showing up for today. That was fantastic. Pokeniner, thank you so much for the submission. As always, if you guys aren't joined, you can join the Discord and submit your own homebrew, which we will review on Mondays. And then, of course, we'll be back Friday with some probably D&D questions. I think Kage has some high point questions for me, which we always get into some crazy discussions whenever it comes down to how I run my realm.
Good
So
stuff. Of
show
course
up for that. But yeah, I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Hope you have a great week ahead of you. But we'll be back on Friday, and maybe I'll try to get online midweek again, because that was kind of fun to do some Mega Bunk and Noida during the week. So I'll try to do that again when I can.
Very nice.
But otherwise, thank you all so much again for showing up, and we'll see you guys later. Cheers.
Deuces, my friends.